Which emotion do you think fuels you? Depending on your answer, you may be a perfect candidate for the Red Lantern Corps. This is Top 10 Nerd, and today we're counting down the 10 most powerful Red Lanterns. Number 10, Kyle Rayner. When Hal Jordan went mad after the destruction of Coast City and destroyed the entire Green Lantern Corps, an artist named Kyle Rayner was chosen to take up the mantle and became the last Green Lantern. The Corps would eventually reform, and Kyle remained one of its most powerful and distinguished members, being given the title of Torchbearer for keeping the Corps going during its blackest night. In Green Lantern New Guardians number 2, when members of the 7 different Lantern Corps died, all 7 rings came to Kyle brief, allowing him to harness the power of all the rings at once, including the Red Lantern ring. While this was short-lived and the power came more from a combination of rings than specifically the Red Lantern ring, I felt it was at least worth a mention. Number 9, Dex-Starr. Dex-Starr started life as a stray cat in Brooklyn. He was adopted by a woman who took him in and gave him a pretty wonderful life full of love and yarn. When his owner passed away in a home invasion gone wrong, Dex found himself back on the streets. When 2 rather cruel humans decided to have fun by putting him in a sack and throwing him off a bridge, a Red Lantern ring, sensing the rage in the cat's heart, granted Dex the powers of a Red Lantern. Dex-Starr has since become a regular member of the Red Lantern Corps and is probably the most powerful cat in the DC universe, and don't underestimate him. He is extremely brutal and violent, and is responsible for the deaths of several humans, a Yellow Lantern, and at least 1 Black Lantern. Although he has sworn vengeance for the life of his original owner, he still enjoys a good cuddle with his new master, Atrocitus. Number 8, Superman Prime. Superman Prime comes from an alternate universe where the DC universe is fictional. He is the only one with superpowers. His universe was destroyed in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, causing him to turn from hero to villain in his various attempts to bring back his universe. He eventually succeeded in getting home, but was ostracized by everyone he loved as they had read about his various acts of villainy in comic books. While shopping for comic books, he was attacked by Black Lanterns. He stole one of the rings, which cycled through the emotional spectrum before settling on the red power of rage, making him a Red Lantern. Having the powers of Superman combined with the Red Lantern ring could have caused untold damage, but his love for his ex-girlfriend Lori caused him to switch to a Star Sapphire before the exhaustion of cycling through so many intense emotions caused the ring to break, thus defeating the Black Lanterns. Number 7, Mera. The Queen of Atlantis has dealt with a lot of loss over the years, having lost both her child and her love, Aquaman. Also, apparently her dog was stung by a bee or something? During the Blackest Night storyline, when the dead began being resurrected by Black Lantern rings, Mera also loses her last loved one, Tempest. This is the last straw for Mera, and her rage causes her to summon a Red Lantern ring, making her a member of the Corps. Mera was always a fierce warrior, but with the power of the Red Lantern ring, she was essential in fighting off the Black Lantern, even impressing Atrocitus with her brutality when she torched the resurrected Black Lantern versions of Aquaman and her son. She was able to let go of her rage when Aquaman was brought back to life, causing her Red Lantern ring to crumble into dust. Number 6, Bleez. This former princess from the planet Havania is the second in command of the Red Lantern Corps, answering only to its leader, Atrocitus. When her home planet was attacked by the Sinestro Corps, she was kidnapped by one of the Yellow Lanterns. When she refused this lantern's advances, he tore off her wings. Rather than submit to further indignity, Bleez flung herself into space in an attempt to take her own life. The Yellow Lantern used his powers to stop her from dying and began to recapture her. Her rage caused her to be found by a Red Lantern ring, allowing her to obliterate her captor and join the Red Lantern Corps. Although most members of the Red Lanterns are rendered incoherent and feral by their rage powers, Atrocitus chose Bleez to act as his lieutenant and granted her her intelligence back. This backfired for the leader of the Red Lanterns, as this gave Bleez the ability to overthrow him for a time, making herself the leader of the Red Lantern Corps. Number 5, Hal Jordan. The most well-known of the Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan was a test pilot for Ferris Aircraft before a dying alien named Abin Sur crashed on Earth. Abin Sur's Green Lantern ring chose Hal to serve as Abin's replacement due to his ability to overcome great fear. Hal became the first human ever inducted into the Green Lantern Corps. Many years later, while Hal and some other Lanterns were escorting the evil villain Sinestro to his execution, they were ambushed by the Red Lanterns, who took Sinestro for themselves. In their efforts to recapture their prisoner, Liara, the Green Lantern Lantern of Sector 112 was killed by Sinestro. This caused Hal to lose control of his rage, attracting a Red Lantern ring to his person. As mentioned before, most Lanterns are so blinded by their rage that they become feral. As a result of this, most are unable to create constructs using their red ring. Hal Jordan, on the other hand, did not have this problem, and used his new ring to attack the Red Lanterns as well as the Blue Lanterns who had come with him in an attempt to help capture Sinestro. Hal's time as a Red Lantern was extremely brief, but judging by how much damage he unleashed during his time as the villain Parallax while wielding a Yellow Lantern ring, one can only imagine how dangerous he would have been had he kept the red ring. Number 4. Rancor. When John Moore's mother died, the shock of the event caused him to bury his rage deep inside himself. He and his brother were raised by his grandfather, who eventually died in a robbery gone wrong. When his brother tried to avenge their grandfather's death, he was beaten to death by the police. This finally caused John to unleash his rage, and he was given the powers of the Red Lantern ring, becoming Rancor. Like Hal Jordan, Rancor is able to control his rage enough that he is able to create powerful constructs with his ring. Atrocitus, hoping to give the other Red Lanterns this ability, informed Rancor that they would drink his blood in a communion of rage. Rancor was able to hold his own, fighting off Atrocitus and the other members of the Red Lantern Corps. Number 3. Supergirl. Superman's cousin, Kara Danvers, is already incredibly powerful, having all the powers of the Man of Steel. These powers were taken to the extreme in the Red Daughter of Krypton arc, when Supergirl gets in a fight with the alien bounty hunter Lobo. Lobo's incessant taunting and his attempts to manipulate Supergirl finally get under her skin, and she releases all her repressed rage on him. This draws a Red Lantern ring to her, causing her to become a member of the Red Lantern Corps. Fortunately, this happened after Guy Gardner had taken control of the Corps, so rather than becoming an agent of Atrocitus, she had a relatively stable mentorship from Guy and the other Red Lanterns. She was a powerful Red Lantern, able to defeat entire armies almost single-handedly, in fighting multiple Green Lanterns and Red Lanterns at once. Her time on the team helped her work through her rage and caused her to make a lasting friendship with Bleez, but she eventually left the team, becoming the only Red Lantern to ever survive the destruction of her power ring without the aid of a Blue Lantern. Number 2. Guy Gardner. The most stylish of the Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner's short temper and gruff persona make him an ideal candidate for membership in the Red Lantern Corps. When Hal Jordan asked him to go undercover and join the Red Lanterns, Guy went above and beyond by challenging Atrocitus to combat, thus overthrowing him and taking control of the Corps. He transformed the Corps into a peacekeeping organization, albeit a much more lethal one than the Green Lanterns, and even made a deal with the Green Lanterns, giving the Red Lanterns their own sector to patrol. Although it could be argued that other Red Lanterns had more raw power, Guy Gardner had the most transformative effect on the Corps, and wielded the most political power of any Red Lantern. He served as the leader of the Red Lanterns until he was eventually overthrown by Atrocitus and returned to the Green Lantern Corps. Number 1. Atrocitus. When the evil Manhunters endeavored to wipe out all life in Sector 666, only 5 beings survived. One of them was Atrocitus. These survivors blamed the Guardians of the Universe for allowing the Manhunters to destroy their sector and formed the evil organization known as the Five Inversions, eventually taking over 3 galaxies and forming the Empire of Tears. After being defeated by the Green Lanterns, Atrocitus used the blood of the other Inversion members to create the Red Lantern Central Power Battery. Atrocitus sent out the Red Lantern power rings and batteries in an effort to build a force capable of reaping vengeance on the Guardians and the Green Lantern who defeated him, Sinestro, thus creating the rage-powered Red Lantern Corps. Atrocitus led many attacks against the other Lantern Corps, proving himself to be a ruthless and powerful enemy, although his allegiance has become more neutral than evil over time. Are you filled with rage that I didn't include your favorite Red Lantern? Want to hear more about a particular character? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like this video and subscribe to Top 10 Nerd.